Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new session. And here with me is Ananya.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. So, Ananya, what are we doing today?
So, as RPSC exam is approaching, we will be doing RPSC crash course day 7. We have done 6 classes before, so you can check them out. And for today, let's start our practice.
Yes. So, today we are at day 7 of our RPSC crash course. Okay. So, let's get started. And here's our first question. Yeah.
A Goddess Named Gold is a novel by Dash. Is it by Bhavani Bhattacharya, Raja Rao, Mulk Raj Anand, or R.K. Narayan? A Goddess Named Gold, this is the novel's name.
So, a goddess named Gold. It's a very important novel by the Indian novelist Bhabani Bhattacharya. Okay, so let me tell you a bit more about this novel. It's a very important novel. It's a modern fable of rural India, narrated against the backdrop of the freedom struggle. It is a masterly satire on those who live by the lure of gold. And again, the setting of this work is very important. It is set against the backdrop of the independence struggle or the freedom struggle of India. A goddess named Gold. It's a very important novel by the writer Bhabani Bhattacharya. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Which work among the following is not about partition? Is it sunlight on a broken column, a bend in the Ganges, twilight in Delhi, or train to Pakistan?
Here, Atia Hussein's Sunlight on a Broken Column, A Bend in the Ganges by Manohar Malgonkar, and Kushwant Singh's Train to Pakistan. These three novels are set against the backdrop of the partition riots and the horrors of partition. But the third option, there is the novel Twilight in Delhi by Ahmad Ali. It is not set against the backdrop of partition. It is not about partition. So here the answer is option C, Twilight in Delhi. Okay. Here the backdrop is not partition. So Twilight in Delhi is Ahmed Ali's first novel. It was originally published in English by the Hogarth Press in Britain in 1940. This novel addresses India's changing social, political, and cultural climate following colonialism. Okay, so this work is not about partition, but the other three novels are about partition riots. So please do try to make a list of the works which are about partition, okay, because questions will come from this area. It's a very important area of Indian literature. And be very careful about the writers who have, in some of their works or in at least one of their works, have talked about partition. Okay. Next question.
Which novel by Bhavani Bhattacharya got the Sahitya Academy Awards in 1967? Is it So Many Hungers, He Who Rides the Tiger, Shadow from Ladakh, or A Goddess Named Gold? A novel by Bhavani Bhattacharya has got the Sahitya Academy Award in 1967.
Okay. So many hungers, He Who Rides a Tiger, Shadow from Ladakh, A God is Named Gold. All of these are novels by Bhabani Bhattacharya, but it is Shadow from Ladakh. It got the Sahitya Academy Award in 1967. Okay, Shadow from Ladakh. So it's a novel by Bhavani Bhattacharya. It was published in 1966. The book is set with the Sino-Indian War as a backdrop and tackles various issues, including China's presence in Tibet, as well as the more local, social, and moral elements of life. The mixture of humor and interactions of the characters in a war setting provides the novel a nuanced approach. And this book won the Sahitya Academy Award in 1967. Please study about the works which have won the Sahitya Academy Award or Booker Prize or Pulitzer Prize. It's very important to know about the works and the writers who got these prizes. Okay. And it is here, Shadow from Ladakh, which got the Sahitya Academy Award. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Dash was the debut novel of Joseph Conrad. Is it Almayer's Folly, Heart of Darkness, Nostromo, or The Rover, which was the debut novel of Joseph Conrad?
Okay. So Joseph Conrad, as you all know, he was a writer of Polish descent, and Almayer's Folly. It was the debut novel of Joseph Conrad. It was published in 1895 by T. Fisher Unwin. Set in the late 19th century, it centers on the life of the Dutch trader Casper Almayer in the Borneo jungle and his relationship to his mixed heritage daughter Nina. So Almayer's Folly, it was the debut novel of the writer Joseph Conrad. And here by the term folly, we mean the unfinished house that Casper Almayer built. And that house is referred to as his folly. Here, the folly refers to his unfinished house, which he was building. Okay, so Almayer's Folly. And here we have the other important works of Conrad, like Heart of Darkness, his most important work, Nostromo the Rover. So he was an Edwardian writer, right? He was writing during the Edwardian period. And to look up all of his works, the famous characters he has created, so do look up his novels. Okay.
Nellie is a narrator in Dash. Is it Oliver Twist, Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, or Middlemarch? Nellie is a character and a narrator in Dash.
So it's a very easy question, and it's also a hint to learn about who are the narrators in which novel, or who are the servants in which novel, because the servant characters in the Victorian novels, they're very important. Servants play a very vital role in the promotion or the propagation of the plot. Okay, so do look up the important servant characters in Victorian novels. Okay, so here Nellie, she is a narrator in the novel Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. So as you all know, Wuthering Heights is the only novel by Emily Bronte. Initially, it was published in 1847 under the pseudonym Ellis Bell. It concerns two families of the landed gentry living on the West Yorkshire moors, the Earnshaws and the Lintons, and their turbulent relationships with the Earnshaws' foster son Heathcliff. The novel was influenced by Romanticism and Gothic fiction. And here, actually, the primary narrator is Mr. Lockwood, because this novel has been presented to us in the form of his diary entries. It is actually his diary entries which we read as this novel, right? So the primary narrator of this novel is Mr. Lockwood, because this novel is filtered to the consciousness of Mr. Lockwood, right? The new tenant of Mr. Heathcliff. And here the secondary narrator is Nellie, because Nellie tells the stories to Lockwood, and then Lockwood tells it all to us, the readers. Okay. Right. So Nellie is one of the narrators in Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, published in 1847. Okay, next. Okay, so before we proceed, we have a very important announcement, that is, we are starting our 6-month online course for NET December 2024. So the December NET is also, on its way. And for the December NET, we're starting our admissions from July 8. Okay. So we will start the classes from July 8. There will be 6 classes in a week. You will get 2 sessions per day, and there will be, 2 sessions per day. So one session will be from 7 in the morning, and the other session will be from 6 p.m. in the evening. All right. So admissions are starting from May 15th. So from this May 15th, we are starting the admission for our 6-month online course for December 2024. Here, what will you get in this course? You will get live Zoom classes, and the recordings will also be provided to you, and you will have lifetime access to these recordings. And so in this course, we will give you both paper 1 and paper 2 classes. Also, you will get all our books, the printed books which are there, our encyclopedias and all. You will get also PDF notes, which will be uploaded on the website. Also, topic-wise quizzes will be there for practice and model tests also. So we are starting the admission for this course from May 15th onwards. There are also 2 numbers on the screen where you can contact for your further queries, and you can enroll and you can get enrolled for this course. Please start registering for this course, because December net will also be there after June ka net, right? So start enrolling and start your preparations. Okay. Next.
The Childhood of Jesus is a 2013 novel by Dash. Is it by Chinua Achebe, J.M. Coetzee, Wole Soyinka, or Ngugi wa Thiong'o? The Childhood of Jesus. This is a 2013 novel.
Yes. So The Childhood of Jesus is a 2013 novel by the writer J.M. Coetzee. Okay, it's a work by J.M. Coetzee. And this book, The Childhood of Jesus, it follows a man and a boy who emigrate to a new land. And once there, they receive new names and rough estimates of their age and are taught Spanish to help them acclimatize to their new surroundings. Okay, so The Childhood of Jesus is a very important work by J.M. Coetzee. Okay, next.
Mr. Coetzee Dead. This is the epigraph of which work? Is it The Hollow Men, The Wasteland, Ash Wednesday, or The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock?
Okay, so Mr. Coetzee there, it's a very famous epigraph of the poem The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot. The Hollow Men, it's a poem by the modernist poet and writer T.S. Eliot. Like much of his work, its themes are overlapping and fragmentary, concerned with post-World War I Europe under the Treaty of Versailles. Hopelessness, religious conversion, redemption, and some critics argue his falling marriage with Vivienne Haywood Elliott. It was published 2 years before Eliot converted to Anglicanism. Again, a very power-packed poem, The Hollow Men, and this poem deals with a lot of themes. This Treaty of Versailles, and also the hopelessness which was prevalent in the contemporary post-World War era. And it also talks about the religious conversion of Eliot and also his falling marriage with his partner. So all of these themes are there in this poem, and Mr. Coetzee Dead is an epigraph of this poem, The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Next.
Anthems of the Savannah is a 1987 novel by Dash. Is it by Nadine Gordimer, Chinua Achebe, Tayyib Salih, or Naguib Mahfouz? Anthems of the Savannah, this is the novel's name. It's a 1987 novel.
Okay, so Anthills of the Savannah, it's a 1987 novel by the Nigerian novelist Chinua Achebe. It was his 5th novel, first published in UK 21 years after Achebe's previous one, A Man of the People, and this novel was credited with having revived his reputation in Britain. A finalist for the 1987 Booker Prize for Fiction, Anthills of the Savannah has been described as the most important novel to come out of Africa in the 1980s. Critics praised the novel upon its release. So a very significant novel, Anthills of Savannah by Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe is a very important writer from Africa. Do look up all of his works. He has also written essays and poems. So do look up his essays and poems also. Again, the chronology of his novels is also very important. To look up his chronology, the characters he created, the settings of the works, right? Very important writer, Chinua Achebe. Also, Nadine Gordimer, Tayyib Salih, Najib Mahfouz, they are also very important writers, okay? So do look up their works, and very importantly, chronology, because you can easily get chronology questions. So do look up these things. Okay, next.
Blackwood's magazine was started from Dash as the Edinburgh Monthly Magazine. Was it 1800, 1817, 1819, or 1821?
Okay, so as you know, knowing about the magazines and periodicals is also very important. like who was associated with which magazine, or the starting year. The chronology of magazines also is very important these days. They're asking questions in that way also, like arrange the following periodicals in the correct chronology. So knowing the chronology also is very important. So here we have one of the most significant magazines of all times, that is the Blackwoods magazine. So Blackwoods magazine was a British magazine and miscellany printed between 1817 and 1980. It was founded by the publisher William Blackwood and was originally called the Edinburgh Monthly Magazine. The first number appeared in April 1817 under the editorship of Thomas Pringle and James Cleghorn. Okay, so this Blackwoods magazine was started from 1817. Remember the year in which also Coleridge's Biographia Literaria was published. The Hindu College was established in Calcutta this year, right? So try to associate things this way and cross-connect and study, so it will be easier for you to remember things. So Blackwoods magazine was started from 1817, and it was known as the Edinburgh Monthly Magazine. All right, so do look up the magazines and periodicals, very important. Okay, next.
The Black Cat is a short story by Dash. Is it by O. Henry, Thomas Hardy, Edgar Allan Poe, or Mark Twain? The Black Cat, this is a short story. I have to tell who has written it.
Okay, so The Black Cat, it's a short story by American writer Edgar Allan Poe. It was first published in the August 19, 1843 edition of the Saturday Evening Post. In the story, an unnamed narrator has a strong affection for pets until he perversely turns to abusing them. His favorite, a pet black cat, bites him one night, and the narrator punishes it by cutting its eye out and then hanging it from a tree. The home burns down, but one remaining wall shows a burned outline of a cat hanging from a nose. He soon finds another black cat similar to the first, except for a white mark on its chest, but he develops a hatred for it as well. He attempts to kill the cat with an axe, but his wife stops him. And so the narrator murders his wife. He conceals the body behind a brick wall in his basement. The police soon come, and after the narrator's tapping on the wall is met with a shrieking sound, to find not only the wife's corpse but also the black cat that had been accidentally walled in with the body and alerted them with its cry. So, a very Gothic story. So The Black Cat, it's a short story by Edgar Allan Poe. All right, so before we wrap up for tonight, let me just remind you all that the December net is also coming soon after June ka net. So we are starting our 6-month online course for December net, and the admissions will start from 15th May onwards, right? You will get 6 classes per week, 6 classes in a week, yes, and 2 sessions per day. One in the morning, one in the evening, right? And you can see on the screen all the benefits, all the things you will be getting from this course. And also 2 numbers are there where you can contact if you have further questions, and you can get enrolled accordingly. All right, so that's all for tonight. So Nanya, shall we wrap up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Yes. So good night, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.